Dear friends, as most of you know, my previous video was a tribute to a master, Giacomo Puccini, for his amazing work, Italian opera, Madame Butterfly. Now, I'm moving on to the next video. Giacomo Puccini, Josh Gardner, Giacomo, Josh. They sound very similar. And you know what else? You know why else they're similar? Because I'm declaring that Josh Gardner is the Puccini of the China e-commerce market. And he's the gentleman in my interview with him a few days ago that we're going to talk about in this video. You don't want to miss it. Hey friends, what fun I'm going to have sharing this video with you. Let me read a couple of quotes from information that Josh Gardner, the CEO of Kung Fu Data, sent to me as we were preparing for this interview. I had such a great time speaking with him. It was supposed to be 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I ended up talking to him for an hour and a half. I wanted to ask this man questions. I'm like, quiet, don't ask questions. Quiet. I stopped myself from asking questions. Let the man talk. He was talking. He was coming out of his mouth was the wisdom. It was unbelievable. I'm like, let him talk. And I'm typing my notes. I have it all right here. I just refined it. I'm sharing it with you today. Pay close attention. So here's his little introduction. Everyone wants to sell online in China, but most lack the inside knowledge, resources, and relationships to make it stick. So they make costly mistakes. Yeah, as in like billions. They choke on red tape and the local nuances. They hire what end up being charlatans or get trapped in bad partnerships. Okay, they don't understand the China e-commerce game, and they lose. They lose. All right. So, my conversation with Josh Gardner. Here's the summary points. I've lined up 8 points here. This is going to take about 15 minutes. The market here is far more diverse than just being a place called China. Now, Josh is an old China hand like I am. I mean, he's been here many, many years. And we understand. China is not China. It's a very diverse. You have to look at this China as a regional place, okay? And the lies, the misrepresentations of the facts. This means that what happens when people and companies come in, they don't really know what's going on. They don't know what they're getting into. So it's a cautionary tale. It's absolutely cautionary, okay? The possibilities to come here and do business in China are endless, but difficult. Endless, wonderful, but difficult. Nobody used the word easy when it comes to China. You're far too easily taken advantage of because, and this is Josh's first pearl of wisdom, the market is highly nuanced. That phrase, that's the first one for you to remember. Highly nuanced. First phrase about China to burn into your brain. Okay, the China market, life here, business here, and of course, especially that includes the super hot e-commerce market, is highly nuanced. Straightforward? Yeah, that's funny. Okay, China is far more sophisticated. And this is another point I want to share with you. China is far more sophisticated than anyone realizes across the society and culture, and does a new foreign company who wants to do a China market entry really understand that this market is actually more sophisticated and more advanced than back in the United States and Europe? No. Hang on, I'll be right back. In fact, the failures on top of failures here in China along the way are legendary and frightening, and a reason to stop and listen to an expert like Josh. Point number 2. The focus of China e-commerce is undoubtedly the middle class. Now, that makes sense, right? Here in China, the middle class is 700 million people, and their households have plenty of money and very little debt. In the West, it's the opposite. The typical middle class households are loaded with debt, and they have no money. Folks, this is tough, but it's reality. It's a different ballgame. Let me be clear. In America, I understand in a lot of ways it's a strong economy, but it's a strong economy only for the whole top 20%, the elites. I mean, they stole the market. They stole the society. It's a tough situation in the West, in America and in Europe. Okay, so it's the opposite here. And at the same time, so that's an amazing, wonderful opportunity, but that's also why there's so much competition. So the fact that the market's highly nuanced, highly localized, and there's huge amounts of competition, well, again, highly nuanced. I love repeating that word, that phrase from Josh. Perfect wisdom. Item number 3. Let's talk about infrastructure of payment purchases and processes. Here in China, infrastructure is all brand new. When we step, again, I'm living this. This is not just me, sitting and listening to Josh tell me this. We're here along with all of our other friends who are here for 10 to 20 years. We know we're living this. We understand what it's like. Everything here is faster, easier, and better. And it's all being run on QR codes and scans and then connections through your phone. Everything is through the phone. When we step outside of China, it's like entering the dark ages, So when you want to move back to first world country, America, it's more sophisticated and streamlined here. You don't want to hear that. Purchases and processes and communications are like archaic, even in Hong Kong. You come here and everything is in this phone. You go in and out of the subway, you use your phone. You pay for something, you use your phone. You do business, you contact a client, you use your phone. You share files back and forth, you use a phone. You shop in an app, buy something online instantly, you use a phone. You get it delivered, you use the phone. You call to have something picked up to get it delivered, and you use the phone. On and on, and I'm going on and on and on and on and on. Everything is right here, all connected with the banks, everything, even investments, everything. Here in China, the infrastructure is brand new. Here in China, the infrastructure is seamless across all sectors. It's ultra advanced, and it's all in the cloud, and it's all in the palm of your hand, and it's all at the same time. It's very, very complex. Can you imagine? Highly complex, highly nuanced. It's just unbelievable. So, with the exception of very few e-commerce platforms in the West, the services here are far more efficient and also dirt cheap. And shipping here is dirt cheap. Shipping here is subsidized by the big companies, Alibaba. Okay? Number 4, here, believe it or not, it's personal. You can't talk to anybody back in online, back on Amazon. You don't talk to anybody. Nobody talks to you. Josh told me the story the other day. He had asked a staff member to make an online purchase, a desk lamp. They did it in less than 2 minutes with confirmation. Captured the bonuses and discounts and coupons, bought it from the merchant, online live chat going on at the same time, and then delivered out. It was delivered. And they knew when it was going to be delivered. It was done. Okay? So, that level of efficiency and personal service, on top of it, you get to talk to somebody. And the person you're talking to, number 5, is with the wholesaler, with the factory direct. That's the other problem. Here in the West, you can't buy it wholesale. You can't buy it factory direct. Here, you do. Plus, you get personal service. It is factory direct, and you're on the chat phone with the factory or distributor. Number 6, the bad service window. The bad service window is 13 seconds. Can you imagine this? The time frame in terms of customer service. The time frame has collapsed in terms of your ability to get away with bad service. It lasts now for only 13 seconds. After that, you're done. Customer's done. They're moving on. Bye-bye. Okay? Collapsing time frames. Just unbelievable. He told me about the TV he'd purchased. It was a great story. Delivered and installed. Purchased, delivered, and installed in 2 hours. Purchased, yes, on the line, yes, could, yeah, we're going to call Kuaidi. Kuaidi is delivery service in Chinese. Yeah, we're going to call the Kuaidi right now. It's on the way to your address. Delivered by the delivery guy who delivered it, okay, knew how to install it. Unbelievable. Okay. So back in the States, the problem, what I also want to say first is that this efficiency is there because we see it ourselves. I see it myself all the time. There's guys with carts and scooters running around the city delivering stuff all the time, and these little electric carts. It's inefficient back in the States because it's dominated by the inefficiency of having to everything has to be done by trucks and cars. Very bad, very tough stuff. It's just not the same. It's a different world. So, super efficiency. Josh's wisdom, China has created a time warp. China has created a time warp from inside or outside the mainland, right? Inside the mainland, unencumbered daily routines. Back in the first world, the modern, supposed modern world, you still have to pay cash and deal with many, many different vendors and apps to get the same thing done. So, when a brand comes in to China, when a person comes into China, they have no idea. They have no idea about any of this. How can they possibly get a business set up to match all of this super efficient capability just to compete, let alone to succeed, right? To dominate the market. Are you kidding me? So, it's vertically integrated experience from the origin of the customer to the delivery to your door, even with a setup of products that you buy and purchase. All right, number 7. If you're a brand, now we get to the formula. If you're a brand, 3 things need to be in place. And this is talking about your mental mindset, the mindset of your team. Humility, patience, and flexibility. Can you imagine? We've got to be talking a little bit about philosophy and mindset and human behavior. You can't, if you come here without humility, if you come here thinking you know what you're doing, that's strike 1. If you come here without patience, you think you're going to do it fast, that's strike 2. And if you come here without flexibility, because it's a highly nuanced and highly localized market, that's strike 3. You're done. China has its own characteristics, its own features. It's a monoculture, for example. It's different. Okay? So, you're talking about coming into a market, I'm reading this, into a market that is complex, large, extremely large, hyper-competitive, highly nuanced, and localized. And you got to come into this market thinking all that stuff you're going to be dealing with, and you're going to come in to play the long game. Okay? So, the business formula focuses on 3 main points. Number 1, you have to understand your brand strength and awareness. Now, Josh made it very, very clear to understand the differences here. Brand awareness is one thing, but brand strength, that's another, right? So, the difference between the awareness and the conversion to the strength, that's what he calls the delta. How much you prefer the brand. In other words, I'm going to buy the brand. Okay? If I want a Mercedes, I want a Mercedes. Come hell or high water, there's nothing you can do. Right? That's brand strength. All right? I have my own, I'm an artist, I'm a jazz pianist, I love audiophile, I love beautiful, pure music. And I'm going to buy these beautiful speakers. And I go to the brand, I bought my new JBL 530 series speakers. Oh my God, they're beautiful. They're JBL, the brand. Okay? There's lots of brands in audiophile. So this is a key point when you're dealing with people who are what we call hobbyists or enthusiasts. Every time they're going to buy one of the top 5 brands, no matter what. Okay? So this is what we mean when we're talking about brand strength. I really appreciate Josh explaining this to me. Second, readiness. Does your company have readiness? What is readiness? Products, assets, price strategy, channels, resources, the team, capital, and knowing what you do that you do extremely well. All of this is the readiness of the of your company's situation as you're coming into a new market. It's a lot. Number 3, resources. Again, people, inventory, media, more capital, product assets, marketing assets, media and PR. Okay? So all of these things. Along the way, Josh shared with me inside stories of some coming startups. One that looks great and amazing. It looks like it's going to do fantastic. And I'm not able to share that with you. But the other one that has a fantastic product for women, selling like hotcakes in other countries. And then they're going to come to China, they're going to do the same thing. Guess what? No, they're not, because the women in this country have absolutely no interest whatsoever in this culture, in their product. And you just got to figure that out. Okay. Unbelievable. Well, so, such, ladies and gentlemen, is the wisdom of the CEO of Kung Fu Data, Mr. Josh Gardner. He's a true old China hand and expert in his field. And really, let's enjoy that I myself have had the opportunity to spend this time with him and get some of his wisdom and be able to share it with you today. I really appreciate that. I've had the opportunity to share in this video the wisdom from the man himself, the Puccini of the China e-commerce market. That's it. My name is Mario Cavallo. Thanks for joining me here on The Dragon Roars On. You know what to do. If you like the video, please share, comment, join the discussion, and of course subscribe. And thanks very much. We'll see you next time.